Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad that you're alive. I love you guys and thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Storytime Society. If you haven't already, please go ahead and press the subscribe button, the like button, and as always, I want to hear your thoughts, comments, questions, concerns at the end of the video or whenever you feel like it. I just love to hear from you guys whenever and whatever you guys have to say. I have my water today. Get out your drink, as always. I have literally drank no water today, which is really bad for me. Let me know what you're drinking in the comments below, or maybe you're eating or something during this episode. But I always love to hear your guys' fun little drinks and drink ideas because then that makes me want them so bad. Because sometimes you guys comment some good drinks, and I'm like, ugh, I need that now in my mouth, please. All right, anyways, we're going to get straight into the episode. We're also on Spotify. The link is below if you want to follow on there or listen on there ever. And we also have a subreddit where you can leave your own personal stories or anything you want, any other stories, cross posts from different Reddits that you see that you want me to read. Okay, let's start off with the first story. The title is Am I the Asshole for Refusing to Be with My Wife During Childbirth or Signing the Birth Certificate Until She Proves that the baby is mine and that she and my best friend didn't have an affair? My male 44 wife, Cynthia, female 41, and I have been married for almost 15 years. I raised her older children as my own. We have 2 kids together and one that she just gave birth to, but I won't sign the birth certificate until I get a DNA test. Back in 2014, we had a huge crisis due to her infidelity. Her affair partner was her supervisor, and I only found out when she was abruptly fired and the company filed a case against her for allegations that I won't discuss here. Her supervisor was a co-defendant. She had to come clean about the whole thing, including having an affair that lasted 2 years. I completely lost all trust in her. I requested paternity tests on our kids together, they are mine, got a lawyer, and moved out. I eventually forgave her and tried to move on because the pain of breaking up our family and not seeing the kids every day was unbearable. We had a very good run until now. Our relationship felt stronger. The sex was great. I felt like she was the woman that I fell in love with and was very happy that I gave us another chance. Years ago, her best friend, Dana, female 42, cut her off. They were friends since grade school, but Dana abruptly ended the friendship, changed her number, and even blocked me and our older kids everywhere. Cynthia expressed sadness about it for years and often talked about Dana like a true sister. When my wife got pregnant with this last baby, she got very depressed about everything. Dana was our go to person in case of emergencies, so I thought maybe some type of closure would help. I managed to get Dana's contact information from a friend in common and asked if she would be willing to talk. To my surprise, she was interested. The conversation wasn't what I expected. She called me a flying monkey and said I ought to be ashamed for enabling my wife. She said she was absolutely fed up with Cynthia and that she abandoned the friendship because she got tired of feeling like a tool, always having to do favors and being generally at my wife's service. She said she was unable to share anything because my wife only talked about herself and that my wife failed to even thank her for gifts and other things, but kept raising the bar and asking for more and more stuff from her. Dana mentioned having attempted a slow fade, but my best friend Gary, male 48, stepped in and it put her off tremendously. I didn't know this. I didn't know that Gary was sent by my wife to talk to Dana out of restricting their time together when her best friend became distant, and that he pressured her and tried to force her to contact Cynthia, and that this resulted in a complaint against him because his messages became menacing and he hinted at sending her spyware. I know Gary can be intense, but never like this. He works in IT, so the spyware part is not entirely impossible. Dana and Gary never had any contact prior to this. Dana cut everyone off out of distrust and because she did pursue a complaint against him with the authorities. She sent me evidence, the court case number, and receipts. I'm hurt because not only did he get in trouble for trying to help my wife, but he actually got into a serious situation and it was kept a secret from me. I confronted him and he said that he was just trying to help. I confronted my wife and she said she was desperate because Dana had always been her main support system. This did it for me. I didn't care how many times my wife says anything. says nothing else was going on, I have no way to erase the idea that they might be hiding other things. The fact that Cynthia managed to get Gary to do something that he knows is illegal and that he went too far trying to please her makes me wonder about things. Also, during our conversation, Dana insisted that Cynthia is a black hole of a person and that she was disgusted that not only my wife had been using her for years, but would not think anything of engaging third parties to enable herself to keep extracting benefits for whoever she wants. To make matters worse, I asked if she knew that my wife had cheated, and she said yes, and it played a part in her disowning her. I will not even be able to go back to talking with Dana because she made it clear that she wants nothing further. Back in the day, I thought Gary looked off, but when I asked, he said it was about him separating from his ex and that he was bummed out. I talked to Cynthia about it. I told her that I reached out to Dana and told her what she said, and she looked horrified. We went over for that days we went over that for days. We went over that for days until I couldn't take it anymore and asked if she and Gary had some type of inappropriate involvement. She reacted, angry, and seemed very offended. Also, now I feel that maybe her depression over Dana wasn't real. Maybe she wanted to use that so that I could accommodate her with whatever she wanted. I requested a paternity test on the baby, and she flat out said no. She threatened to divorce me. This is why I moved out weeks before she gave birth. I refused to drive her to the hospital or be at the birthing room. All I'm asking for is confirmation that it's my child and she isn't acting cooperative. She tried to deny Dana's complaints to the authorities, despite me offering evidence. Gary has apologized for keeping secrets, but he's denying ever sleeping with her. I'm anxious, but sometimes I get very numb and wonder if I'm being crazy. I understand that Dana was very right to act the way that she did, but I have no evidence of cheating or an affair between Cynthia and Gary. This has affected my health, and sometimes I feel that the less I see or hear from Cynthia, the less chances to get any anxiety or panic attacks. Obviously, my family knows that we're separated and are showing divided opinions. Some say that I was impulsive and that I'm jumping to conclusions. They didn't know about her cheating years ago. I'm not meeting the new baby until she can prove my paternity. She's having health issues related to post birth. I'm present for my kids and haven't skipped out on my duties, but told her to either have a relative come help her out or move to their place temporarily because I will not be helping her in any way until this is resolved. She says that I'm being abusive and that being alone in the maternity ward was humiliating. Am I the asshole? Edit for grammar. Edit 2 to add that Gary hasn't been proactive and is very silent. Edit 3, my wife says she won't agree to DNA because I'm ruining our marriage. That's crazy to me because just get the DNA test. Girl, you obviously have proved that you're not trustworthy, which obviously, yeah, it is it's kind of like hard because once you decide to forgive someone for something, it's kind of like you can't keep, you've at the same time kind of agreed to put that in the past and start building trust again with your partner. And I feel like it's not good to just keep bringing up that past issue. But that's not even the case here because obviously this friend has told him that she was cheating. So now that totally makes sense to me why he would have that in his head and want proof. I would feel the same exact way, and I don't think that he's the asshole at all. I don't think that anything's wrong with that. If it were like super random and all of a sudden like she's never cheated on him before and there's no like allegations for cheating and he just is like, this isn't my baby, I need a paternity test, then yeah, that would be different and that would be fucked up of the guy. But I think that everything is leading to needing to get a paternity test, and the fact that she's saying no is so weird to me. Like, just do it. Like, what's the problem? Clearly something is you're hiding. All right, let's read some top comments. Your marriage is overdue to get a divorce. Seriously, just end it. Speak to a lawyer ASAP. Have them file a request for a DNA test. She doesn't have to agree if a court is involved. Figure out what you want in regards to custody and support agreements. Include how decisions are made for the kids, medical school, etc. Also, how new partners will and at what level be involved with the kids. Oh, because even in the best co-parenting, new partners can try to control it and muck it up. Make sure that a parenting app handles all communications and he saves all emails and that they go to his lawyer. Yeah. True. Exactly. Sorry, but there's no coming back from this level of mistrust. Not only the mistrust, but OP's wife is a narcissist. He cannot give her any more chances. File for divorce and have your lawyer request the DNA through the court. Gary's behavior is so strange. He either is very into OP or he has been into his wife. Ooh. Even if the baby is yours, you need to get therapy and divorce your wife. Your wife seems like a terrible person, and Dana was right when she called you an enabler. Not the asshole. Your marriage is over, regardless if the baby is yours or not. She is lying, manipulative, untrustworthy person. Get divorced. Get rid of Gary too. It's really crazy that she did that to her best friend. That's crazy. Putting spyware on her phone is like a new level of. That's honestly like something I feel like I would always want to do. Well, like when I was in college and like high school, me and my friends always wanted to try to like be spies. There's like this spy. There's like a spy store. There's spy stores actually regular, like physical ones, but there's also like online you can get spyware and stuff. And I always wanted to do that. Like we always wanted to do that with like guys that we were talking to or like kind of seeing at the time. And I just feel like it would have been so funny. Like it definitely probably would have hurt our feelings, but I feel like it would have been funny because sometimes like if we suspected that something was going on, we'd be like, let's get some spyware. But we never ended up actually getting spyware. We just always like tried to and talked about it. But so funny. Okay. Next story. Let's see what this is about. Let's go. Am I the asshole for getting his hopes up and then telling him I had an abortion and serving divorce papers? I've hit my breaking point. I hit it a while ago, but I totally snapped. I have a surgery that will make my entire life so much easier. It's needed, but not an emergency, so I've been on the wait list for a couple months and probably still will be until March. Anyway, my soon to be ex husband has known about this surgery since like the first couple weeks of this year. I begged him to get snipped. My body can't handle birth control anymore and he refuses to wear condoms, so that was the compromise and he just never did it. Well, 2 months ago, my already psychotic period was late and I was pissed. Pregnancy test was positive. It was the first time we had had sex in months, but my husband was for sure he never finished that night and I must have been cheating on him. He went into this huge pissed off rage and wanted paternity tests for all of our kids, and I better call their real dads to come and take care of them. He said this to our kids' faces. We left. I went to my doctor and asked for her to do a blood test to see the paternity of the baby and then to give me the abortion pills because I couldn't do this again. I almost died during my last birth. After I took the pills and confirmed I wasn't pregnant anymore, I filed for divorce, and when all the paternity tests came back that he is in fact their dad, he started being so sweet and saying he was so sorry for how he acted and how I know how he questioned his daughter's paternity. Yeah, he has now done this with all of his kids and how I shouldn't take it so hard. I handed him the divorce papers, told him I had an abortion, and he can stay the hell away from me and the kids. He's been texting me nonstop since. I'm a bitch. How could I kill his baby? How dare I get his hopes up and then pull this shit? How now he has to tell his parents that I'm not pregnant when he already told them that I was, and then asked who is going to take care of me after my surgery because no one will want to watch the kids and take care of me because no one gives a F about me. So I told him all communication will be through my emails and blocked him. Am I the asshole? No, and you should have broken up with this man years ago because the crazy thing is to me is that it's always the woman's responsibility to have to not get pregnant. But then the men want to be like, actually, you are not allowed to get an abortion. You're not allowed, and I'm going to make that a law that you're not allowed to get an abortion because, but then at the same time, I don't want to wear a condom because it doesn't feel good. Like, and also, oops, I accidentally finished inside of you. You need to be on birth control. Why aren't you on birth control? Like, how about you just fucking snip it or something? I don't know what you want from me. It's so crazy to me that it's always the woman's responsibility. But then the men are like over here slanging their dicks around and not wanting to wear a condom because it doesn't feel as good. Oh my god, like for the love of God, please, why did we have to make birth control for women? Why couldn't we make the birth control for the men? Like, can't the men do anything? Can't they do anything? Because I'm sick and tired of doing everything. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why do we have to carry the babies, birth the babies, basically do everything for the babies because why did I just say it like that? Everything for the babies? Basically do everything for the babies because that's just like what happens is the responsibility always falls more on the mom because we have the titty juice, we have the maternal instincts and all of the other stuff. I don't know. But someone actually commented on my video yesterday that they were like, there's so much weird sexism in the first 10 minutes of this video. I feel like I'm in 2003. I'm out. And then I was like, okay, wham, 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 cry baby, cry baby. Yeah, maybe sometimes I make sexist comments about men because sometimes it just feels like men get away with everything. Yeah, sorry, maybe sometimes I sound a little sexist, but I'm just speaking truth. I'm just speaking facts. Like, I think in that video I was saying something about how men a lot of the times will hook up with anyone, like they're kind of desperate, and then like women are not as desperate and they're more like picky about sexual partners. Is that not the truth? I said 90% of the time. I didn't say 100% of the time. So is that really like being sexist? I don't know. You be on birth control. How about you go get a surgery to make your penis not work anymore so that you don't get me pregnant? Like, why does it always have to be on us? Why is it always my responsibility? Why is it always the woman's responsibility? I just don't understand. That's the thing that pisses me off. And I've always said that. I've always said every partner I've ever had, I'm like, no, I'm not going on birth control because I know that it's so bad for me. And I don't have any underlying medical problems where I have to be on birth control because I know that for some women, that's not an option to not be on birth control because, like, with PCOS and stuff, and many other things, I'm sure, it's like necessary for them to be on it. So I totally get that. But for me personally, I don't have to be on it for any reason. And I don't want to be on it because I know that the side effects are many. There are so many side effects. And I already have health anxiety as it is and get scared about dying of something every single day. So I'd just rather not. But it's just annoying. So sorry. Sorry. Okay, let's read some of the comments. Why did he tell his parents if he was so sure that it wasn't his baby, not the asshole? Because when narcs can no longer control someone, they try to control how others see them. My ex tried to tell my own parents damning things about me that weren't true to get them to take his side. He legitimately thought he could pull them. My dad laughed in his face. Yep, my dad psychologically abused my mom for 30 years into this submissive state. He tried with me, but I learned to bite back at a young age. Last year, it came out that he, 60 male, had not only cheated on my mom, 64 female, but had been having a 3-year-long affair with a girl he hired for our family store, who was 16 when it started. He also got into hard drugs with the girl and was supposed to be acting like a guardian to her. We only found out because her mom was a retired cop and found shit on her phone and reported him to the police. He had 3 charges for being a fucking pedo, a breaking and entering charge, and then a couple weeks later, the drug team raided the store and he got another 3 drug-related charges. I'm in my 30s and moved back in with my mom before the shit hit the fan because he was stealing money out of their bank account and she almost lost their house. As soon as this came out, he expected me and my mom to back him and stay supportive and passive, but I went effing nuclear and turned over every single piece of evidence against him, gave a statement and worked with the officer in charge of this case and then managed to get him to sign a quitclaim deed on the land deed and mortgage before kicking his ass out. He constantly plays the victim. I've called the cops on him 4 times this year. My mom and I are building a criminal harassment case against him to get a restraining order. I'm Canadian because he will not stop coming to the house or harassing us. We had to change our numbers. He's caused property damage, tried to get me fired from my job multiple times, but yet he sits there and says we abandoned him and that he's only human and deserves forgiveness. He's gone to both of our neighbors to tell them about how bad we are and that we stole from him. Called my boss to tell them about how I'm a monster and will ruin their business. He's constantly creating Facebook profiles to try and find me so he can drag me online. His most recent scheme is to fake a heart attack and triple bypass to try to garner sympathy from us and our neighbors, but my mom had a heart attack in June and ended up having sextuple bypass done. What is that? And everything he's claiming to our neighbors makes no sense at all because it completely conflicts with what my mom went through. So yes, 100%. Damn. Holy. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Ew. I just, it's so annoying that people like that can have like kids and have kids, because why are you, ugh, it just shouldn't be allowed. There should be something that makes people who are not like fit to be parents not be able to have kids. Like, I don't even know what it would be. And obviously I wouldn't want the government to be in control of that, because that would just be scary. But you should have to pass a test or something to be a parent. Like, it's just not fair that these kids have to deal with a dad like this. Like, you, if my dad was having sexual encounters with a child, oh my God, let me find out, because he would be done. I would literally report him to the police. I would go Olivia Benson on him. Like, hello, Olivia Benson, where are you? Because I need you. I've been so obsessed with SVU. I've always been so obsessed with SVU. I've like seen every single episode pretty much, but there's so many new seasons that I haven't seen, and I've just been binging every. I'm literally gonna restart it once it's over, and it's probably gonna take me 5 years to finish, because there's like 27 seasons. I'm like, thank you God, because I love this show. I love Olivia Benson. Like, be my mom, please. Noah is, I'm so jealous of Noah. Okay, anyways, let's go on to the next story. Will I be the asshole to divorce my wife after she said she wanted to send our son to a conversion camp? I read this on TikTok actually, but I don't think I've read it on here yet, and I hope I haven't. But this is crazy. I haven't read the update though, so I've only read this, I think. Yeah. So, this is a pretty heavy situation, and I'm really confused and disgusted, not gonna lie, because I never thought my wife was like this. My wife, 44 female, and I, 45 male, have been married for 14 years. We have two kids, a 16-year-old son, let's call him Noah, and a 12-year-old daughter. We've had our fair share of disagreements over the years, of course, but things have generally been smooth between us. Now, for the context, Noah came out as gay about a year ago. It was a surprise, and as hard as it was to accept, I love my kids more than anything, and I just want their happiness. My wife visibly didn't take it well, though. She was upset and seemed to go through a grieving period where she didn't really talk about it. I talked to support I tried to support Noah in every way I could, telling him that I loved him no matter what, etc. My wife, though, I could tell she wasn't on the same page. She would say things like, "This is just a phase," or "he needs help," but I brushed it off as her needing time. Fast forward to last week, and we were having a conversation about Noah's future. Out of nowhere, my wife casually mentions that she's been looking into conversion therapy camps and thinks it might be the right solution. She said that Noah isn't truly gay, that he hasn't been shown the right path, and that this could fix him. My blood ran cold. Obviously, I was in shock. I immediately told her I didn't agree and that this was not something I could support. Duh. She got upset and said I was enabling Noah's confusion and that if I really cared about him, I would help him get better. What the F is wrong with her? She was persistent, and no matter how much I tried to explain that conversion therapy is harmful, like I know those kids get abused, R-worded, and often end up either traumatized or unaliving themselves, and that I would never send our son to something like that, and she wouldn't back down. If I'm being 100% honest, I don't even think I love her anymore. The fact that she could be so heartless disgusts me. I know being gay is not easy, and people like her just make it even harder. I'm considering staying only for our daughter's sake. But would it be okay if it means hurting my son? It feels like a betrayal to Noah. I just don't think I can keep living with someone who thinks that this is okay. I think that you shouldn't stay for your daughter, because that's actually going to do the negative. It's going to have a negative effect. It's not going to have the positive effect that you think. And I always have said this, is like, it's so crazy to me that parents constantly think that they should stay in their marriage for their kids. And it's like, you're not doing that. You may think you're doing that for your kids. I'm sure some of them have good intentions, I'm sure. But that's actually worse for your kids. It's worse for your kids to have to experience a tumultuous and toxic relationship growing up between their parents that are married, and then that's setting an example for what they think that they should be like, what a relationship looks like, and that's not good, and that is toxic, and you don't want to have that example set for your kids. The best thing, in my opinion, and I'm not a fucking professional and I've never been married and never had kids, but okay, this is what I think because I have divorced parents, and I also have known a lot of people that have had their parents stay together for them and then end up getting divorced like right after they end up going to college or whatever. But in my opinion, I think the best decision is if you think that you don't love your significant other anymore and you want to get divorced, you should get divorced and then you should civilly co-parent with your significant other and show your kid that you can, you know, although you do get your got divorced and whatever, like that sucks. You can still be a mature adult and you can show your kid a good example of how to civilly continue a co parenting relationship with your other partner. And that is setting a better example to your kids than staying with them just because you're kids. Like, just because you have kids under the age of 18. Like, that's crazy to me. I just never think that's a good idea. It's never a good idea. It's literally setting them up for failure and to show them bad relationship issues and look up to a relationship that is toxic. But what am I to say? I've never been married, so I don't know. But also, obviously, I didn't even touch on anything. Obviously, I think that you should. I would literally, if my partner thought that it was okay to send my kid to a conversion camp, oh my God, the way I would disown them and never speak to them again. Because why would you ever think that that's okay? Also, like, come on, really? It's 2024. Why are you so upset that your kid is gay? Like, seriously? Seriously. What? Hello? What's wrong with you? I don't understand. I don't understand. Please help me understand. But let's read this update. Update, will I be the asshole to divorce my wife after not the Sally shell she brought ashore. Will I be the asshole to divorce my wife after she said she wanted to send our son to a conversion camp? So, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone here for all the help and the advice I've gotten under my post and in my DMs. Sorry if I couldn't answer to everyone. There were just so many effing people. LOL. So, I posted something about my wife wanting to send my son to a conversion camp 2 days ago. First of all, some people told me to show her videos and documentaries about what happens there, but this argument has been going on for more than a week now. I've showed her things and she won't budge. Really bad update if I can be honest, so let's get into it. All of you told me to try to get him out ASAP. Y'all were definitely right. So yesterday I took the day off and went to see an attorney just to get some info about divorce, etc. But after what happened, I'm 100% sure I want a divorce ASAP. Yesterday I went to pick Noah up at his school, and as many of you suggested, we had a long discussion. I basically told him his mom and I may be getting a divorce because she wants to send him to a conversion camp, but I can't accept that. I've talked with her many times and I told him I'll probably go through with it. He looked really hurt, but my heart broke all over again. But was very understanding and thanked me for standing up for him. I pulled him into a tight hug and told him that I always love him no matter what and that nothing is his fault. At that moment, he started crying because he was so glad that at least I was on his side, and I'm very pissed, so sorry if I don't make any sense, but apparently his mom has been pressuring him for months. She planned dates with girls to try and fix him, and he had to lie by saying he was going to a friend's instead. She was saying he needs help, and as much as she loves him, he needs to get his condition cured. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, etc. I feel so bad because I've been so oblivious to all of that and I've failed to protect him for all that time. How do you make your 16-year-old son go through that? So when we got home yesterday, I can't lie, I was furious and confronted her right then and there. At first, she was trying to explain she was doing it for him, but her speech quickly turned into slurs, and it was clear she was just ashamed of having a gay son. In the end, I told her I went to see an attorney, and that learning all that just confirmed that I want a divorce. She got really angry, calling me delusional disgrace. We argued a lot, and at some point, Noah tried to separate us, but my wife punched him multiple times. She was saying disgusting things like he is a dirty F word, and that it's all his fault we're getting and that it's all his fault that we're getting divorced because his filth has corrupted me. My daughter, who was probably in her room, came to see what all the commotion was about and was rightfully horrified and quickly called 911 when I told her to. Long story short, the cops got there and took her away. She was very reluctant to go because she was not in the wrong and they needed to let her go. I explained everything to my daughter and she doesn't want anything to do with her mom anymore. Right now I'm in the hospital because my soon-to-be ex-wife broke my rib while I was restraining her. I should have probably went as soon as the cops took her, but I don't care. My son was crying with a black eye and a split lip. They're checking for any concussions. And obviously the only thing I cared about was to comfort him because I can't even imagine what it can feel like to be beaten by your own mom for being gay. I'm planning to file for full custody, of course, and my kids don't want to see her ever again anyway. Given all the charges that she's facing, I hope she won't stand a chance against me. I just sent a mail to my attorney, and I hope the procedures will go fast. I've also thought about getting CPS involved, but I'm not sure they will really help. Like, I cannot understand how you can grow so resentful of your own kid because of something that they cannot control. Even I had pretty strong opinions about it, but as a father, it is my role to unconditionally love my kids, and so I learned about the topic and changed my way of seeing the world for him. It took some time grasping it, but I never doubted 1 second the love that I have for my child. I thought it was the same for my wife, but obviously not. What? I hope this woman goes to prison. Sorry, what the hell is wrong with you? That's genuinely, I'm speechless. I'm speechless. You need to get your sorry, but what in the red pill? You need to get your condition cured. What condition? How about you get your condition cured for being straight, mom? Go, like, you should be gay. Sorry? Like, what if he said that to him, or to her? I don't accept you, actually, because you're straight. What the fuck is wrong with people? It genuinely pisses me off that people still think like this. People genuinely think that like this. We are not in the 1200s. Like, where did you come from? Are you a cave woman? Like, I'm just so confused. It's actually crazy in this modern world that even a mother would do this. Like, I cannot believe it. I cannot. Okay, some of the comments. Your daughter is amazing for calling 911. You've raised some incredible kids. Thank you so very much. I'm so proud of her for doing this only at 12 years old. Aw, poor 12-year-old. Like, that's so scarring. I would literally be so scarred. And yeah, I would hate my mom forever. I would hate her forever because what a disgusting human being you have to be so hateful towards anyone but your kid is that's even crazier. Oh my, sorry to hear about all of this, but thank you for doing the right thing and sticking up for your kids. Wishing you guys all the best. Honestly, yeah, this dad is like dad of the year. Like, thank you. He's so compassionate and so empathetic and so like thank you for actually understanding that when something like this happens, the best thing that you can do is learn about everything and try to open your mind and progress in the way that you're thinking because you don't want to end up like that miserable bitch. Over 30 years later, my family still denies all the abuse that other family members perpetuated onto me as a child. I was never safe. I was never protected by anyone except my dad. He's the real reason that I'm still alive and was able to resolve all the trauma that plagued me. My dad saved me. He was my best good friend and always my hero. I just can't believe that families would do that. It's really sad and really scary to me because I could only hope that, like, no matter what views my family has, if that were the case and I were to come out as gay to them, like, I would really hope that they would be accepting regardless of their thoughts on that topic. I would hope that they would open their minds and learn more about the situation then and not just like immediately be like, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm taking you to the doctor. You need to get your condition cured. You're going to be on anti-gay medicine. Like, it's just crazy that people actually think that. That is just like, oh my God, I can't. It's really hard to wrap my head around, but we're going to move on to the advice segment. So if you guys have any questions or you want my definitely questionable advice, the link is below. It's a Google form and you can submit whatever question or advice you want. And it's all anonymous. I don't collect any information about you guys, like not even the email. I unclicked the box that says like collect emails so that I don't have any. Like all I have is the responses and that's it. But today's question: how do I help my parents come to terms with who I am as a person? I know they care about me, but sometimes I feel like they look at me as an adult and wonder what went wrong. I feel like this is pretty fitting for this episode, seeing as this last story was crazy. Um, I feel like it's definitely hard to always feel the need to like want your parents' approval and acceptance as the person that you are. But from what I don't know, obviously, this is like very little details in this. I think that as long as you come to terms with who you are as a person and you work on yourself and your self love, and I would put that energy into focusing on yourself. And as long as you accept yourself as a person and you come to terms with who you are as a person and you love yourself and love all that you are, I don't think that it matters if your parents come to terms with who you are as a person. I obviously don't know what any details about this, but I think that as long as you're proud of yourself, and maybe you're not even proud of yourself, but maybe you're working towards being proud of yourself and working towards loving yourself more, that's all that matters. And put that energy into yourself and trying to be the best person that you can and the best version of yourself. And obviously there's no perfect version, and I am not trying to be like toxic positivity because I hate that kind of stuff. And obviously like there are going to be bad days and there are going to be days that you don't love yourself and that you hate yourself actually, but it's okay as long as you try to pick yourself back up. Give yourself time to feel that. Give yourself time to feel like be down in the dumps. That's okay, because there's going to be bad days, there's going to be good days, and you wouldn't be able to appreciate the good days if you didn't have the bad days. And that's honestly so real, because that's something that when I was in therapy for a while, my therapist would always say, like, your goal is not to be happy. Your goal is to be content, because that's like a neutral feeling. And you're not always going to be super happy. You're going to be happy and you're going to be super sad. But as long as you're content in general, then that's the goal. Because, like, I would always be like talking to her about how I feel really happy right now, and I've been happy for like maybe a couple weeks, but I'm really scared that I'm gonna like feel depressed again and I'm gonna be back in like down in the dumps, and I'm really nervous that I'm that's gonna happen again. And she would just be like, that's not, you are like, there are gonna be days where you feel sad and you're gonna be down in the dumps, but as long as you know that you're gonna be happy again, then that is totally okay. Just remind yourself that like it's gonna be in ebbs and flows, because that's just life. But anyways, I think that is the end of the episode. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. So that you guys know, we have Monday and Thursdays is the mini episodes at 8 a.m. And then Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays are the long episodes at 8 a.m. We just recently started doing the mini episodes at 8 on Mondays and Thursdays. And I think it's pretty easy because I can just film like 2 episodes in one day, because they're only like 20 to 30 minutes. Sometimes they're a little bit longer and sometimes they're a little bit shorter. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.